the first generation Cielo X1 was a really popular choice among marathon racers, especially for those in the 3 to 5 hour range who wanted a fast but also comfortable option out there on the roads. Now version 2.0 is here with some pretty huge changes to the shoe. Just about every part of this shoe here has been updated to make it more competitive. But has Hoka taken it too far and lost the magic of that original shoe? Or do they finally have a true super shoe that can compete with the big players at the front of the marathon field? Stay tuned to find out. Let's get stuck in to the full review. Starting out, we're just going to go through the difference between this and the outgoing model version 1. We now have a lighter and more breathable upper. Version 1 had more of a knit to it, especially around the heel, which was really minimal in version 1, and now it's nice and padded and built up in version 2. And also a significant overall weight decrease with the shoe as well. For me, it's now 54 grams lighter, a huge chunk, and you can really feel that as you're going through your foot strike. We've got a much more aggressive rocker at the front of the shoe here. We've got the same price though, thank you very much Hoka, though still quite expensive. We also have the same stack and the same drop as the original shoe. The Cielo has always had a big cutout on the side of the shoe, and that has now moved from the lateral side on version 1 to the medial side on the inside here with version 2. So there will potentially be a bit more instability on the inside of the shoe there. So if you're someone that needs a bit of support, that could be a potential issue. But if you land on the outside of your foot, as a lot of pro runners do, then you're getting a lot more support on that lateral side of the shoe. Obviously the name has changed. It's a little bit of a quirky naming thing. Why not call it just the X2? Well, they actually have some Cielo spikes as well, and they've called them X2 and X3, so now this is X1 2.0. Bit of an odd thing. But anyway, let's get stuck into the facts and figures. So the purpose of the Cielo, this is now a true 5K up to marathon racing shoe, and potentially longer. Well, I'll come on to that a little bit later on. Price wise, seriously expensive shoe here. This set me back £250. Of course, as with everything on the channel, I bought this shoe 100% with my own money, so I can give you that completely honest, impartial, unbiased review, as we will always continue to do here on the channel. Thank you to everyone that supports us by liking our videos, sharing our videos, comments down below as well, and also checks out my website benparks.com. If you are training in the depths of winter and the cold at the moment, then we've got our awesome long sleeves tee that will keep you warm and looking cool out there. Feel free to use code YouTube10 for 10% off your order. The stack height at the back of the shoe is right at that legal limit, 40 millimeters of stack height with a 7 millimeter drop overall. Weight wise, we're seeing a significant decrease in weight. Now this is coming in for me at 248 grams, really nicely on the light side there. For me, this is 54 grams lighter in my UK size. Actually, I got these in 11.5. We'll come on to that in a minute. But yeah, significant weight decrease, and you can really feel that out on the roads, which is fantastic. This is a neutral shoe, but as I say, due to the changes, you're really not going to get as much support on the inside of the shoe here as you would have done on the previous model. We've now got this engineered jacquard mesh upper, very thin and very lightweight as well. You can see through it. It's really quite cool, but good amounts of breathability through there. Midsole wise, we've got this dual density PIBA midsole, PIBA being the flagship type of foam that Hoka offer, and we've also got a winged carbon fiber plate in the shoe as well, hoping to add a little bit of stability. The foam at the back of the shoe is incredibly soft, and then we've also got this very aggressive rocker at the front of the shoe, really to help increase that turnover and increase that cadence. On the outsole, we've got this very sticky rubber outsole here from Hoka. There's no different widths available. And is this true to size? Well, yes, I actually bought half a size down for me because I just could not buy it in my regular UK size 12. It was a little bit on the small side for me. If I was going to buy it again, I would get my usual size 12, and that would be bang on, so true to size. Right, let's get stuck into the likes. My first like with the shoe is it's just sheer fun. It really brings a smile to your face. Fun, fast, bouncy, responsive at all different speeds as well. And I think version 1 really wasn't great at those slower speeds. It really was, for me, more of a half marathon and marathon shoe. This is now poppy at all different speeds. Huge rocker at the front of the shoe, really tips you forward and pushes you into that next stride. Much more aggressive compared to the outgoing model. Even standing still, if you're standing on a start line, for example, it's just tipping you forward. It's very hard to actually stand still in this shoe. This means that sort of marathon pace and faster, for me, anything sort of 350 a k pace and faster, the shoe really flows so well through that foot strike. It feels fast enough now to use for those 5 and 10Ks. My second like with the shoe, just surprisingly lightweight and silent, as you can hear or not hear with the footage I'm going to play over the top here. This is at full volume. Definitely the quietest super shoe I've run in. If you're one of those people that's used Alphafly and doesn't like the noise it makes, you're going to really like this shoe. You can certainly feel that significant weight decrease as well in the shoe, and it now just flies along with no clunkiness at all. I personally found the first version a little bit clunky. Now this feels like a proper lightweight race shoe. The rubber they've used on the outsole is also really fantastic as well, and it grips really well, and as I say, almost completely silent as you're running along. Third like with the shoe, just a really great fit and lockdown, really holds the foot in place. This upper is a fantastic upgrade on the outgoing model. The first yellow was really popular with wider footed runners and heavier runners as well. Although this version doesn't feel quite as wide, it's still pretty good. I think most people will be absolutely fine unless you're right at those extremes, and also the laces are much better than version 1 as well. The comfort from version 1 I really do feel follows through, and it's even better with version 2 with a much better supportive heel cup here, getting no slip, no blisters, no hot spots or anything like that at the back of the shoe. Really just locks that ankle down really nicely. And my final like with the shoe, some shoes when I put them on, they just have a bit of an aura about them. When you put them on, they just want to go fast. I felt that with the Vaporfly, with the Alphafly, and also with the very recent Adios Pro 4 as well. They just feel like they want to get out there and run very fast. Hoka have now really got a shoe that their elite runners are going to feel a lot more confident about wearing over the marathon distance, rather than having to go for the Rocket X2, which is really designed for those slightly shorter distances, your 5, 10Ks and half marathons. But will this really come at a cost for that mid-pack runner? Well, let's move on to the dislikes. My first dislike with the shoe, it is definitely on the pricey side, but as always, so many shoes in this type of market are at the moment. But it's £30 more expensive than the Adios Pro 4, which is an absolutely fantastic shoe. £10 more expensive than Vaporfly, £30 more expensive than Metaspeed, £20 more expensive than the Endorphin Pro 4 from Saucony, but maybe it is a good price because it's £40 cheaper than Alphafly version 3. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments on the price of this shoe. I'll be really interested to see, but definitely top end out there. Second dislike, again, this is an observation, don't shout me down. It's very awkward to walk in this shoe. I know that's not what it's designed for. It's designed to run very fast in, but just if you are thinking of getting a shoe because it looks nice and padded and it's got lots of cushioning with a shoe and you think it's going to be a comfortable shoe to go for some long walks in, please do not buy this shoe. This shoe is a race shoe. It's very awkward to walk around in. It's very hard to even stand still in it. My third dislike with the shoe, just this foam at the back of the shoe. It's extremely unstable in my experience so far. Very similar, if not slightly worse than the Adios Pro 4. It's not going to be very good for heel strikers or anyone going on for some nice easy and recovery run jogs where you might be getting a little bit more ground contact time through the foot strike, or anyone suffering maybe a little bit late in a race where you might be a mid-foot striker, but as you're fatiguing, you're going to be striking at the back of the shoe a little bit more. There's just not a lot back here. It's very soft, very squishy, and pretty unstable as well. In my first few runs, I was actually thinking this could be a fantastic shoe for comrades this year, because my trusty Asics Superblast, which I'd like to run in, is illegal because it's too high of a stack height, so I can't use that. But I think that's comrades, it's about sort of just under 90k race distance. I'm going to be fatiguing a lot towards the end of that race, and that instability with this one is probably going to mean it's going to be a no for me. But if you're super elite, super strong, it definitely could go those long distances. My fourth dislike with the shoe, some people, as I said at the start of the video, are not going to like the cutout being on this side. It's now moved from that lateral side to the inside. It's going to probably support those elite runners a bit more, those faster runners a bit more, where they might not be needing all that support. They're going to want more support on the outside of their shoe. So this could lead to a little bit more instability. If you're the kind of runner that does need a bit of support on the inside, I could see this potentially sort of collapsing a little bit inside. Depends who you are, depends your use case, but it's just something to watch out for. Right, let's move on to my conclusions. So do I recommend the Cielo X1 version 2.0? Yes, but it's not going to suit everyone now. It's now definitely aimed towards those faster runners, those runners striking more of the midfoot and the forefoot for the duration of their whole race. So if you're in that 3 to 5 hour bracket, are these still going to be good for you? Probably yes, as I say, but as long as you are that midfoot or forefoot striker for the duration of the race, that back of the shoe instability is, I think, going to be a problem for some people. Is it worth an upgrade? For me, definitely. This is a big upgrade in my use case scenario. It's definitely now a shoe that I would consider racing in. It's so lightweight, it's so snappy. I love the rocker at the front of the shoe. I love the foam in the shoe. It's a really fantastic upgrade. But as I say, it's not going to be suitable for everyone out there. If you're a big fan of version 1, this is very different. It rides different, big, changes all the materials. Then I would say go and stock up on version 1 if you were a big fan, because this is a very different shoe. But I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comments on this shoe. Are you going to be getting it? Have you run in it? What do you think about it? But overall, I've really enjoyed this shoe, really enjoyed running in it, and I've liked the upgrades that have come in it. So as I say, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. The next video coming up will be the full review of the Adios Pro 4, and also we've got the full review of the Hoka range, and I think we need to update that video as well for 2025. So stay tuned and get subscribed for that. That's it, guys. Keep on working hard, keep on working done. We'll see you very soon in the next one.